Greetings everyone. In this video, I'm going to talk about what it was like being in a long distance relationship, what I had to do to make sure that our family would end up in one place, how difficult that journey was, and how happy I am to know that my family is in the same place for the last 9 years. In the photograph, you're seeing my partner and our daughter. I think she was about 3 years old in that photograph. First of all, I want to say that it was very difficult to give birth to our daughter when my partner was still in Jamaica. At the time, we tried to get a visa for him to be here for the birth. But if you have been through immigration, you would understand, or the immigration process, you'll understand that when you're married, it's very difficult to get a visitor's visa in Canada for your partner because they are saying he's not going to leave when it's time for him to leave because the ties here are stronger than that in Jamaica. So we tried both times and he was denied. And so it came to the point where I had to deliver this child by myself. And maybe in another video I could talk more about that experience. I briefly told you how after I gave birth, how sick I was and all of that. But this is a happy video, so I'm not going to get into all that today. But I had to come to the decision to send my daughter to Jamaica to spend time with her father. And you would understand that when I was pregnant, he was so dedicated, so devoted, that when I got to the end of my pregnancy and he was not around to do the things that he was doing throughout, it was very difficult for me. And when I gave birth to her, it was one of the things that, oh my goodness, if I could have changed anything, I would have changed, me being in Jamaica, giving birth just so he could be there. One regret that I do have. Now, I always wish that I'd met him earlier when I was much younger. I would have wanted to have like 20 children with this person, and so when I saw the kind of person that he was, how dedicated he was, how caring and nurturing, we sat down and, via the phone, and discussed the pros and cons in her staying here. It was very difficult for me because I had to work and she had severe allergies, and people always took the whatever with her, taking chances that they shouldn't. Even when you explain, even when I made sure that all her food was prepared by me, people still made mistakes. And so he got to the point where he said, listen, I need to be taking care of my daughter while you're working, because if you can trust some stranger to take care of her and they're often making mistakes, who's better to take care of our daughter? I'm going to be honest with you. I was so nervous to send her to spend this time. I needed to send her, but I was nervous. And I remember taking her to Jamaica with the intention for her to spend some time with her dad. And the morning when I was supposed to come back, I was looking for every excuse just to change my mind. I started picking arguments with him just so he would just say the wrong thing so I could use that as an excuse not to leave her. Because where we live is very remote. At the time, he wasn't really driving. I had all kinds of thoughts in my head. What if she gets sick and she has to go to the doctor? You know the situation with the medical situation in Jamaica. I was so scared. But anyway, I took a trial run and I left her in August. And then in December, I went back. In fact, I think I went like day 2 or so days before that big day in December. When I was at the airport and I saw my daughter, my husband came and hugged me, and I looked down and I saw my daughter. I didn't recognize her. First of all, before she went, she had lots of problems with her skin And I've done a video before showing you how I helped to get rid of some of her eczema, but she still had traces, and when I saw her, her skin was supple. It was so beautiful. Her skin was so clean and she was fat, and I just wanted to bite her. Now he took my suitcase to bring to the car, and I bent down to pick her up, and I couldn't get up from off the ground. She was so she was so fat and so solid. I'm like, what are you feeding her? Now, I trusted him and I know he was a caring person. And what I realized, he wouldn't even leave her with another female in his family. He was saying, if she can't go with me, I'm not leaving her anywhere. I just want to make sure she's safe. Oh my goodness. I mean, in his community, he became the best dad of the year. Now, this hairstyle that you're seeing, he did that. He combed her hair. He was the one who would pick out her outfit and dress her. Oh my goodness. I remember there was a time when I was thinking, if I have to take her back without him joining us at the same time, I don't think he'll be able to survive that. I just couldn't bring myself to separate them. They were, glued to the hip, and she loves him so much to this day. She's a daddy's girl. She set me up all the time because she'll start conversations, and when I start to say stuff, then she jumps on her dad's side. So they're inseparable, these two. So yeah, they're in Jamaica together in this video, and they're having a grand time. When I went back in December and I saw them, I was at peace. I know she was safe, she was happy, she was well taken care of. There's no way I could separate them at that point. And it gave me peace to come back and to do what I needed to do to get them to join me in the next few months. Oh my goodness. This is why every so often I have to come out and say, our men are not perfect. No one is. But there are a lot of dedicated fathers. When I say dedicated fathers, and we don't hear about them enough. He would get up when she came here, when they both came here. He would get up in the morning, comb her hair, get her dressed, bring her to school, pick her back up, at half day, and then he goes to work. And even when I was home, he would still get up early in the morning, comb her hair. I'm sure I have videos on my channel with him, her getting her ready for school, because she just gave me too much trouble. And in the morning, it was a lot easier for him to get her ready. And he did that for many years. He would get her ready in the morning for school, take her to school, and then head on to work. And then he would come and pick her up after school, after 3 p.m., drop her home and go back home to work. He would save his lunchtime for the time when he would come to pick her up from school and then go back to work afterwards. And before this 2-year disaster that we've been experiencing, he made sure that he worked the night shift so he could take her to school in the morning and pick her up in the evening. Now that we're homeschooling her again, he switches shift because he doesn't have to bring her or pick her up from school. Why am I sharing this? Like, for anyone who might be annoyed to say who cares, I'm just going to say, listen, there's still good fathers out there. There are awesome daddies out there. I just wish I could have made him a father of 10 children. But it is what it is. And so his daughter, our daughter, get all the love and attention that the other 10 would have gotten. He took such good care of our daughter. I was like, whoa, I couldn't believe. I mean, learning how to comb her hair. He does a better job with combing her hair than I ever could. And then when we decided to lock her here, I mean, the care and the upkeep comes from him to this day. Yes. So that's just about how my daughter went to join her dad in Jamaica and how they had a grand old time. I was actually jealous. Listen, leaving my daughter in Jamaica was one of the hardest things I ever had to do. And there was a little bit of resentment because I was doing it because I needed to kind of free myself to work the crazy hours I was working. So I had to do the thing to get him here. And people would quit on me all the time, or I'd have to take my child away from them because they were careless. And I could get into some of that before. That was one of the reasons why I didn't want to have any more children, because I didn't want my children in daycare. And that's something that we both sat down and talked about. We decided we didn't want our daughter to be in daycare, and we didn't really want other persons taking care of her. We wanted to split it between both of us. When I'm not with her, he would be with her. And, that dream came through. She pretty much is between both her dad and myself, not having to ask anyone else to take care of her. Now I know, as someone who run a home daycare, what that's like, and parents have to do what they have to do. But thank goodness I didn't have to do it with her. Stay blessed.